Gandhi, Lee began, his voice a low rumble. I've heard much of your philosophy of nonviolence. Tell me, how does one find the strength to resist evil without resorting to force? Gandhi smiled, his eyes still closed. Bruce, the strength to resist evil lies not in physical power, but in spiritual conviction. It is a journey of self-discovery, a realization that all beings are interconnected. Lee nodded, intrigued. But what of those who would exploit the weak? Does one simply turn the other cheek? Not necessarily, Gandhi replied. Resistance can take many forms. It can be passive, like the Salt March, or active, like civil disobedience. The key is to use our actions as a means of education, to awaken the conscience of our oppressors. Lee considered this for a moment. I understand the power of peaceful protest, but sometimes it seems that violence is the only language certain people understand. Gandhi's eyes opened, revealing a depth of wisdom. Bruce, even in the face of violence, we must choose love over hate. Our actions should be guided by compassion, not anger. Remember, the true enemy is not the person, but the injustice. Lee nodded slowly. I see what you mean. Sometimes, the greatest battle is fought within ourselves. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the garden, Gandhi and Lee sat in silence, their minds filled with thoughts of peace, justice, and the eternal struggle between good and evil. Part 2. A Tale of Two Titans. The sun had dipped below the horizon, casting the garden in a soft, ethereal glow. Gandhi and Lee sat in companionable silence, their minds still grappling with the profound themes they had discussed. Gandhi, Lee finally spoke, his voice hushed. I've often wondered about the nature of suffering. Why does it exist? And how can we find meaning in the midst of it? Gandhi smiled gently. Bruce, suffering is a universal human experience. It is a test of our character, a challenge to our faith, but it is also an opportunity for growth and transformation. Through suffering, we can learn compassion, resilience, and the true meaning of love. Lee nodded thoughtfully, but sometimes the suffering seems unbearable. How can we find hope in the darkest of times? Hope, Gandhi replied, is a flame that burns within us all. It is a belief in a better future, a trust in the ultimate goodness of the universe. Even in the face of despair, we must hold on to that flame, for it is our only true source of strength. As they sat together, bathed in the moonlight, Gandhi and Lee realized that their paths, though seemingly so different, were ultimately intertwined. Both had dedicated their lives to the pursuit of a better world, each in their own unique way. And in that moment of shared understanding, they found a profound sense of peace and purpose. Part 3. A Tale of Two Titans. The tranquility of the garden was shattered by a sudden commotion. A group of villagers, their faces etched with fear, burst through the gates, fleeing from a menacing horde of bandits. Gandhi and Lee exchanged a glance. Without hesitation, they sprang into action. Gandhi, with his calm demeanor, began to organize the villagers, directing them to safety. Lee, with his agility and strength, confronted the bandits, his fists clenched. As the battle raged, Gandhi's peaceful philosophy was put to the test. He tried to reason with the bandits, appealing to their humanity and urging them to reconsider their actions. But the bandits, blinded by greed and violence, were deaf to his pleas. Lee, on the other hand, resorted to force, his martial arts skills proving to be a formidable weapon. He fought with a fierce intensity, protecting the villagers and driving back the bandits. Despite their different approaches, Gandhi and Lee worked together to defend the village. Gandhi's moral authority and Lee's physical prowess complemented each other, creating a powerful force for good. In the end, the bandits were defeated and driven away. As the villagers celebrated their victory, Gandhi and Lee reflected on the events of the day. They realized that while their philosophies might differ, their shared commitment to justice and compassion was what truly united them. The challenge they had faced had revealed the strength of their bond and the power of their combined efforts. Part 4. A Tale of Two Titans. The villagers had rebuilt their lives, their spirits renewed by the courage and sacrifice of Gandhi and Lee. But their peace was short-lived. A powerful warlord, driven by ambition and greed, had set his sights on their village, determined to seize their land and resources. Faced with an overwhelming force, the villagers were filled with despair. But Gandhi and Lee, their bond strengthened by their previous trials, refused to surrender. They knew that their village's survival depended on their unity and their unwavering belief in the power of nonviolence. Gandhi, with his wisdom and eloquence, rallied the villagers, inspiring them with a vision of a peaceful future. He called upon them to stand together against the warlord, refusing to be intimidated by his might. Lee, while acknowledging the power of peaceful protest, also recognized the need for self-defense. He trained the villagers in martial arts, equipping them with the skills to protect themselves if necessary. When the warlord's army arrived, the villagers were prepared. They greeted the invaders with courage and defiance, their hearts filled with the determination that matched the warlord's aggression. Gandhi led the peaceful protests, his words echoing through the streets, calling for peace and understanding. Lee, his followers stood guard, ready to defend the village if necessary. The warlord, faced with such unwavering resistance, was taken aback. He had expected to be met with fear and submission, not with courage and defiance. Slowly, his resolve began to waver. In a final act of desperation, the warlord ordered his troops to attack. But the villagers, united by their shared purpose, fought back with a ferocity that surprised even themselves. The warlord's army was defeated, and he was forced to retreat. The victory was a testament to the power of unity, courage, and the enduring spirit of the human heart. Gandhi and Lee, their bond forged through countless trials, stood as symbols